They're here. Apple unveiled its two brand new iPad models just an hour ago. The iPad is a key piece of Apple's empire, of course, making up about 20% of the company's overall sales, and it's certainly revolutionized the personal technology market, making life miserable for the PC industry, you could say. Our senior West Coast correspondent John Ehrlichman has more. Listen to this.
We'd like to show it to you today for the first time, and we call it the iPad.
When Steve Jobs unveiled the iPad in 2010, few could have forecast its global profit potential, including Apple. Current CEO Tim Cook said just this spring, the tablet's success would have been unimaginable a few years ago.
The iPad has been a huge hit for Apple. I mean, it's not hyperbole to say that it has shaken up the entire personal computer industry.
Apple started selling iPads in the third quarter of 2010. Since then, it has shipped more than 155 million of them, generating nearly $81 billion in revenue. Combine that with the tablet onslaught from Amazon, Google, and Microsoft, and PC makers like HP and Dell have been left scrambling, something Steve Jobs hinted at 3.5 years ago.
It's unbelievably great, way better than a laptop.
It certainly will hurt the PC industry as tablets continue to cannibalize laptops and even desktops.
And the possibility of lower prices on older iPad models, like the $329 iPad mini, could mean even more market share.
If Apple cuts the price, that brings in more people who can buy it, and that potentially creates new customers who will buy other Apple gadgets.
All right, so in a market where 170 million iPads already exist, will the iPad Air and the new iPad mini really make a dent? Let's find out from our expert panel. John Ehrlichman, who is live outside of Apple's event right there in San Francisco. Jonathan Geller, president and editor-in-chief of the Boy Genius Report, and Colin Gillis, senior research analyst at BGC Partners. John, let's start here with you. Tell us, what's been the reaction to these new devices just revealed an hour ago?
Well, Trish, I think there are two schools of thought on this. I mean, one is that Apple is packing a lot more computing power into these devices, and you see that through the fact that the larger iPad is thinner, and yet it is using the more powerful chip, the one that's now in the iPhone 5S, and the same story for the iPad mini. So they're trying to make it faster, more powerful at the same time, than they're trying to make them as thin as a cracker. But obviously there are some people who are always hoping for more from this company. I stopped one of the board members, Bill Campbell. I said, people always are hungry for a little bit more. Weren't you guys thinking maybe go a little bit further on that? And he basically said, thanks, no thanks. I mean, he doesn't want to get in trouble. He doesn't want to comment on that kind of stuff. But it would be hard not to say that there are some people who feel like Apple could go another yard on something like this.
Let's go over to Jonathan Geller here. Could they have done a little bit more? And is the pricing right, in your opinion, Jonathan?
I have no idea what Apple could have done more than they have done with the iPad Air. I think that is the embodiment of what Apple does. It slowly and beautifully refines their amazing products. I think it is by far the best tablet in the world. I think they knocked it out of the park, personally. I think the price is great. I mean, they're keeping the same price point. If you really want to get in an entry-level $399 iPad 2, that's fine. This is an incredible price point for the holidays at $499. And the iPad mini with Retina, I think, is a great, great step up for a lot of people that really kind of want that readability on a tablet.
Big endorsement from Jonathan Geller for the new iPad. Colin Gillis, do you agree?
Look, I mean, normally when companies release products, they're lighter, faster, and cheaper. Right? I mean, these are the best tablets in the marketplace. They're lighter and they're faster, but they're certainly not cheaper. So, we just want to highlight they're going to be selling millions and millions and millions. Last year, opening weekend, we sold, north of 3 million units. But they're going to lose unit volume to Google and to Amazon and to the other players that are pushing in at the lower end of the marketplace.
How's the battery, John Ehrlichman? 10 hours of battery?
Well, they're hoping that the battery... Yeah, I mean, they're hoping that you'll be able to maintain that. But I think you raise a good point, Trish. There's some new technology that Apple just unveiled with the iPhone. Fingerprint sensor technology, which they did not make available with these new products. And it sort of gets into the question, if you are going for very thin and very sleek, do you have to compromise if you want to get it exactly the way you want it to look? Could they have brought that technology over? So I think that is a fair question to ask.
And why didn't they? Jonathan Geller, take a stab at that. You like this just the way it is, but why not bring the fingerprint technology in?
I would have loved, you're right, I would have loved to have Touch ID on the iPad Air or the iPad Mini. I think we obviously will see that. I think we'll maybe even see that on Mac products in the future. I think for now, this is a product they've been working on for a very, very long time. They've been refining it. They've been planning it meticulously. I don't think the cards were aligned. I think it would have added maybe weight or cost, or I think a big reason is also the supply. These fingerprint sensors use sapphire glass, so it's very, very hard to produce, and that's also why we're seeing the iPhone 5S yield a little bit lower than Apple wants, is because I think some of these supply issues.
Okay, Colin Gillis, talk to me about the stock and what this new iPad is going to mean for it.
You know, so Trish, I would look at, you know, if you want to get a sense as to what the announcement was today, look at what the stock is doing, right? I mean, it's basically unchanged. And this is sort of an interesting point about Apple. Their product announcements are becoming more and more telegraphed, right? We got everything that was expected today. Now, another interesting point they announced was 170 million iPads sold at the beginning of this month, right? So you can back into that. They'd sold about 155 million before the September quarter. So that means you're going to have less than 15 million iPads sold in the September quarter. So don't look for any upside in the quarter from
You've
iPads.
also got the stock at its highest level this year, Colin.
Yeah, absolutely, right? You know, and this is the nice part of the cycle, right? The sweet spot. But we are starting to run out of catalysts.
Running out of catalyst. What could be a catalyst that gets investors excited, Jonathan Geller?
Well, I mean, I think historically, just going back to what Colin said, the stock goes down or the same every single time Apple has an event. I think even when Apple announced the original iPhone, the stock went down, if I'm not mistaken. So I wouldn't really look at that for a sign of what's going on. I think, you know, again, I think Apple's going to have an amazing holiday quarter. They're going into the holiday quarter with amazing brand new products. Brand new iPad, brand new iPad Mini, brand new Mac Pro, which is an incredibly high margin product. Brand new iMacs, brand new MacBook Pros with Retina displays, free software for everybody, free. I mean, it's a really big deal, guys. This is a monster quarter for them, I promise.
And it could be big this holiday season, right?
Exactly. Their holiday quarter is going to be absolutely huge. And
but I want to know.
iPhones too. Brand new iPhone 5S, brand new iPhone 5.
I want to know, when is this Apple TV coming? I mean, we heard one analyst talk about it, Jonathan Geller. We're still waiting. Could it be this year?
Probably 2014. I think they're pretty much done for this year. No more special events. I think if we're going to see it, we're going to see it next year.
Jonathan Geller, forgive me, Colin Gillis, your sense of timing on that TV?
Oh, you know, we're absolutely done for the year. And the thing you have to be careful of with Apple is, right, maybe we get China Mobile this year, right? That would be a nice big catalyst for the stock, or at least a catalyst. And we want to be careful of, last year we went to this big product vacuum as we went into the first part of 2013. Apple needs to roll out new product in that window to avoid the same type of vacuum that we had that really hurt the stock. So, you know, if you're going to get a new product line, that's a perfect opportunity to do so at the beginning of next year.
All right, we're going to be watching all of it. Thanks so much to the whole team, John Ehrlichman, Jonathan Geller, and Colin Gillis. Adam.
Trish.